Welcome back to the STGG podcast, aka Save the Good Girl, if you are new. But if you've been here, you already know what's going on. This episode is very special because this is my 50th episode. I cannot believe it. I have done 50 episodes. That's including my affirmations and my SOEs, which are short episodes that I post every week as well, in addition to my filler episodes. But yeah, in total, it's been 50 episodes, which is it's just crazy. It's crazy how you're so afraid to do something and how quickly time has passed. Like, it's just insane. If you are here today, this is going to be the first ever audio diary series that I decided to start. And I just wanted to walk you through why I even started this in the first place. The reality is there's a lot happening right now in my life personally, and I was very reluctant in doing this particular episode. But what happened was a few weeks ago I was driving, and it just hit me that I wanted to do this audio diary series. And I was like, you know what? I do a lot of podcasts for us, right? Like, I do it for us. And in this audio diary series, you might definitely have some similarities or certain things that you can relate to, but this is really something that's very personal and more about my experiences. But of course, you probably will have some type of like, oh, I feel that, or oh, I feel the same way, which is great, because I really want to make sure that we set that precedence to have the conversation still. And what happened was I was driving and I thought about doing this audio diary series. And I thought to myself, you know what? I think I want to do this once a month because I do journal. And sometimes when I'm not able to journal, I record how I'm feeling in the, what is that thing? It was the voice notes on my phone. And I record and I just kind of keep it to myself just to kind of like let it out, because sometimes I have really like thoughts like at 5 o'clock in the morning, or sometimes it's 2 o'clock in the morning, or sometimes it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, driving somewhere and something just hits me. And I like to record it because I don't want to lose the essence in what I'm trying to say. So as I'm driving, I'm just thinking to myself, I was in my car, I just had some coffee, and it just hit me like this is something that I needed to do. And there's so many things currently happening. And I'm like, you know what? There's too much happening right now. I'm not emotionally here to do this episode. Like, I'm just not going to do it. But it just wouldn't leave me alone. It would not leave me alone. And it's something that it's like my energy, my spirit was like, you have to do this. And the first audio diary series is talking about my husband. I want to make it clear, I am not married, not yet. And this year, I really, really wanted to focus on manifestation. And I believe in manifestation. I believe that it works. I believe that when you have faith over your fear, I believe that when you're focused on that, I believe that when you keep your energy to that and believe in it truly, it will happen. But I also did a podcast episode about manifestation, and I talked about if you don't manifest the right way, you're going to get it, but it's going to be refurbished. And if you don't believe in what you want, you're not going to get it at all, because it's just not how it works. So I thought about that, and I'm like, this was the year I was supposed to manifest like really, really heavy. And I wanted to get myself in a better space in order to manifest properly. And it was just really hard for me. So this is like a challenge for me. And one of the things I really wanted to discuss was my partner, who's not currently here right now. But I just wanted to kind of walk you through what I'm doing. I wanted to do this Dear Diary, like audio diary series, speaking as if he's here. I'm talking to him because this is part of me attempting to manifest the right way. And with that being said, I'm going to discuss, how this all started, right? Like a little bit of history about me and my dating life and what I accepted and all the mistakes that I've done. And then I'm going to talk in the last part. I will talk as if he's here, like my husband is here and I'm talking to him. And, once I meet this person, then I'll be able to say, hey, I spoke about you already. Like, listen to this episode. You are exactly what I said you were going to be. So this is why I want to do this like audio diary series. I am going to do one next month as well. So if you take a listen, you'll hear another audio diary series, and it's just going to be my thoughts. It's just going to be you're listening to like my journal live. And I really would love you to tell me how you feel about this, because it's something new that I'm starting. It's my 50th episode, and I felt like, you know what? This is the perfect time to introduce. I said introduced. Anyways, you see what I'm saying? My mind is like everywhere. But to introduce the audio diary series, this is a very vulnerable thing for me. And if I want to hear what you think. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear if you feel the same way. I want to hear if you like it, because if you do, I'll definitely do more of these audio diary series. And as the podcast continues to grow, I have so many ideas and so many things that I want to do for this podcast. So I just wanted to kind of give you all like a preview of what this really is, these audio diary series. Like, what is this? It's my manifestation process live. That's what it is. It's my journal in an audio form, in me speaking versus me writing it down. So I feel like I'm in a better space to speak now. I feel like I was so resistant in doing this episode, and my energy would not let me let this go. So I'm like, I have to start this. I guess I have to do this. And I hope that me really putting this out there, I hope it does inspire someone to not give up, because when you're waiting for that right person to love you unconditionally, to build, to grow with you, it gets very discouraging. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it gets very discouraging, especially when you know what you want, and you want more than just a fuck buddy. You want more than just someone who's gonna text you WID and WYA. Like, you can't even finish a fucking sentence. Like, no. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no. But it does get very challenging, to say the least, when you want something and you're yearning for it, and you have an idea of what it feels like, what it, just what it embodies. And it's like, you haven't received it yet, because the whole idea of when you know is true. And I'm just speaking, this is a particular episode where I'm truly speaking from my heart. If I take pauses, if I cry, if I'm thinking, it's because this is such an authentic, episode. Like everything else that I'm doing, like every episode that I've done is super authentic, but every episode is for us. And this is like one where I'm just speaking straight from my raw emotions about me, right? So it's like, it's a little different in that way. But every episode that I do, I give you my all. I give you my thoughts. I give you my experiences, because Save the Good Girl is that's just what it is. It's to help save us and how we feel, save our thoughts, save our minds, save the good parts that we have, because we let the heartbreaks and people who block us and ghost us and all the mistakes that we have, we let that filter in to make us feel like we're not worthy of receiving love. And that's not right. That's not okay. And that's why this is birthed, Save the Good Girl is for us. It is for us. So I like, oh boy, like, I definitely want to get into the history. And without further ado, let's get into the audio diary series, starting right now. We will get back to this fabulous episode, but I just wanted to let you know that you can find Save the Good Girl on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and YouTube. There is also a chance for you to be featured on the show. Check out the link in the description to send me a voice message. In addition to the podcast, did you know that Save the Good Girl has a blog? Be a part of VIP by subscribing to the email list on SaveTheGoodGirl.com. So many options to stay connected. All right, let's get back to the episode. Dear husband, I've been waiting to talk to you for a while, and I'm so happy that I finally have the opportunity to do so. I feel like it's really important for me to kind of walk you through a deeper look into me and my past and my history and why I am the way that I am and why I do what I do. I am a product of Disney. I loved Snow White and Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella and Aladdin. I love all the Disney princesses when I was younger. I love that whole Prince Charming effect. And that's what I've always wanted. And I'm a girly girl since I was young. I'm a hopeless romantic. I started writing poetry when I was 12, and my first poem was about trees. And my second poem was about love. But of course, love in a 12-year-old form. My introduction to love was from my parents. My introduction to how a man is supposed to treat a woman is from my father. The integrity that he has, the love that he has for his family. Me seeing that as a child and seeing just a hardworking man and seeing that relationship dynamic really shaped me as I grew into an adult. As a child, you are not really focused on that. You know, you're trying to discover yourself, but this has always been present. I remember, I believe my first boyfriend, I was 10 years old. And the most romantic thing at the time to me was he wanted to prove to me that he loved me. So he stole his mother's necklace to give to me as a gift. And I thought that was so romantic. And I also thought that it was romantic at the time. They had gigapets. And I remember that he saved money to get me a gigapet. And I thought that was so sweet. Yeah, I thought that was so sweet. And that's when I was like 10. And I want to say once I got into high school, I started to kind of get into myself a little bit. My first heartbreak was when I was 15. And it was really hard because I was talking to somebody who was in a different high school than I was. I went to high school in Queens. He went to high school in Long Island, in New York. And yeah, he broke my heart because he was dating somebody from another high school. Like, well, like, why would you do that? You know, and then him and I had our whole lives planned. We had prom planned. We had kids planned. I mean, by this time, him and I were supposed to be married at least for like 8 years with 3 kids. That was the plan, according to my 15-year-old self. I've always loved R&B. I've always loved poetry. I've always loved romantic movies, you know, throughout high school, coming into college. You know, I had a lot of insecurities from high school. Just a lot of insecurities of just myself as a woman, and you know, just with me, and I didn't feel pretty enough. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel, you know, liked enough. And due to that, as I started to grow older, I started to make a lot of mistakes, you know, that I tolerated things that I should not have due to my insecurities. And I didn't really understand what loving yourself even meant, because I wanted that love. I wanted that feeling. I wanted that fairy tale ending so much that I tolerated things that I just should not have tolerated. And I was, you know, talking to different people, and due to me being in a hopeless romantic, I've always wanted to be in a relationship. But, you know, it got to a situation where I met someone who I really cared for. And it was a situationship. I didn't even know it was a situationship because that vocabulary, that word was introduced not too long ago. But at the time, that's exactly what it was. It was a situation where we were dating, and we never got into the relationship place, because when he pissed me off, I would go away. When I would piss him off, he would go away. But we always somehow found our way back to each other. And I cared for him, and I wanted things to work out. But it was weird, because even though I wanted things to work out, I knew that he wasn't going to be my man, because there was just certain qualities about him. Like, he was like a inside guy. Like, it was cool when you're inside. Once you go outside, you're like, yo, you mad whack, you know? But I loved him. I cared about him, and I wanted things to work out. And it didn't work out. And then of course I started exploring, and I dated more people, and I wanted things to work out, and consistency was just always the issue, or my energy just didn't feel right. It was just something that just was never right. And I felt like it was never right because it had to lead me to you. I had to go through all of these things to realize all the things that I don't want in a man. And even though I had the example of an amazing man, even though I had that example, I still, because of my insecurities and my growth and what I've been dealing with, I just I didn't know how to ask for what I needed. So therefore, I was so focused on the other individual and not really on myself. I let myself base my happiness on when they reached out to me, when I saw them. And if I wasn't around them, I was very sad. If they didn't reach out to me, I was very sad. I didn't understand the power of self-care and really, owning who you are. I didn't understand that. My emotional capacity just wasn't really there. And the expectations that I had for a man was very limited because I was in my 20s and I wasn't thinking about marriage. I wasn't thinking about long term. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about, this person is nice. I like them. They like me. They're respectful. And that was it. I didn't even have the requirement of this person to talk about God. And it's like meeting you now and seeing how you're so into God, and the fact that you have introduced me to another level of my spirituality is just, it's beautiful now. But to be honest with you, at the time, I wasn't focused on that. And, I made it very clear that I needed God to be in my relationship moving forward because he's always in my life. But I think I was just so focused on the partying, graduating college, figuring out my career, figuring out myself, and also figuring out what I wanted in a man, that I just didn't, he wasn't a conversation. And I told myself that, moving forward, like, God has to be a conversation piece for me. He has to be a conversation piece for me. I missed you a lot. I missed you, and I never even met you. And I as I grew in my career and within myself, it became very clear to me, what I wanted in a man, because I've dated people and I've been out and I've talked to guys and things didn't work out, whether I ended it or they ended it. It was never in sync, and it never felt right, because I realized that I've always wanted to be in love. And I realized that prior to meeting you, I've loved people before, but I've never felt that feeling of like being in love. At least I don't think so. And as I grew older and getting more into myself and understanding, my insecurities and how that played a major part in many of the decisions that I've made. Me not knowing my worth, me not knowing myself, me tolerating things that I should not have tolerated, me being disrespected, me staying in situations that I should not have stayed in, me putting myself in situations that I should not have put myself in. But even with saying all of these things, I have to tell you the truth. I don't regret not one thing, not one bit. It really helped shape me to the woman that I am today. It really helped me understand, like, with full force and knowledge of exactly what I want in a partner, of exactly what I need, and not just what I want, but what I need. And I never knew the importance of what I needed until I met you. And I missed you so much. And I remember traveling and having fun with my friends. I mean, having really an amazing time. And I would just have these moments where I would be at the beach and I would have a drink and I would have my swimsuits and we're taking pictures and we're listening to music, and I'm in my thoughts and I'm thinking about, I wish you were here with me. I wish we were doing this too. And I love my friends and I love my family. And I think it was just some moments I'm like, wow, this is such a romantic setting for me and him. And you weren't there. And I really missed you. I did. And I wanted you to to be there with me. I wanted to experience these things with you. And it's important that you understand that I have grown tremendously from what I used to think, how I used to think and how I used to be. But the essence of me, the essence of Erica has never changed. I've been the same since birth. There's characteristics in me that probably are more pronounced as I got older. I feel like I'm at a place where I can come to you comfortably and tell you everything. And I love that. And I love that I can talk to you about my past and share things with you, and you look at me with no judgment. I love the fact that you love me unconditionally, regardless of what I have allowed in my life. And I love that you have allowed me to grow together with you. I love that I'm not alone in this. I love that we are in this together. I love that I can be myself with you, because in the past, I felt like I was myself, but not 100%, because I tried to mold myself into what another individual wanted me to be in order to capture that love. And it wasn't authentic. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, you know, this guy is saying, I don't like this. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. Or I like that. Yeah, I do too. And it's like, I didn't fucking like it, you know? But I was wearing this mask because I wanted him to like me. I wanted this person to want me. So therefore, I sacrificed what I really wanted and who I really was. I sacrificed a bit of me to introduce this person to my life. And it didn't do any good for me, right? Because I'm not with this person. But what it did teach me was that I was not authentic. And then I met you. And I'm me. And I love that me being me is more than enough for you. I love that I don't have to say much for you to get it. I love that you share the characteristics of my father. I love that I feel so protected around you. I feel so free. I feel so secure. I feel beautiful. Even though I have my flaws and so many things that I want to change, and I feel like I'm not good enough and I'm not this and I'm not that, you make me feel like you validate those feelings and you encourage me to see better. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that you take my spiritual lens and you wipe off that dust, because you see that I'm getting kind of cloudy, and you help me see that. I love that you allow me to also be in your life. I love that you're vulnerable with me too. And that's why we are vulnerable together. And that's why our relationship is so strong. I love that you love my family. I love that you understand the importance of my friendships. I love that I can talk to you about my past and you're listening and you're like, all right, cool. This is what we're working with. Cool. I don't care, because I love you for you. And that's it. It's so important to me that I talk to you about this, because I've been waiting for you for so long. I've been waiting for this kind of love for a very long time. A love that's reciprocated without consequences. A love that is encouraging, a love that works hard, a love that is consistent and not willing to give up, a love that is understanding, a love that is taking the time to really assess the situation before judging it. I've been waiting for you for a long time, and I've talked to you about my friends constantly. Where is he? What is he doing? Is he in traffic? Like, what's happening on the road? Like, what's going on? I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. I've cried for you. I've cried for you. I've been sad for you. I've been confused. I've been lost. I've gotten moments where I just wanted to give up. I had moments where I didn't know what to say anymore. I didn't know how to pray for you. I didn't know how to speak up, like speak for you in terms of like introducing you to my life. I just didn't know what to say. And now that you're here, it makes sense. It makes sense why I've been through all of this. It makes sense why I had to go through all of this and I had to wait. It makes sense why I had to miss you and I never met you before. It makes sense. It makes sense. Wow, I mean, This is my first part. I had to breathe. I had to breathe. Oh shit, I had to breathe. So this is my first part of my audio diary series where I am basically talking about the past. And in this next segment, I'm going to speak to my husband like he's here. And oh boy, like this is so different, because I hope I release this episode. Oh boy, I hope I release this shit because you know what? It's just so like, wow, Anyways, I'm going to now speak to my husband. I'm going to speak to my husband. I'm going to speak to him as if he's here, like we are now married. Like I think in my mind, prior to it was like we were in a relationship. So what you just heard was like a prelude, like we were together, and now we're married. Now we are official. This is my person, and I'm gonna talk to him and let him know how I feel about him right now. Are you enjoying this audio diary series so far? Please let me know your thoughts. If you go to sayyyy.com, you can actually send me an email of your thoughts. What do you think? Did it help you? The vulnerability, like, what are your thoughts on this? You can also follow me on Instagram at Save the Good Girl, and Twitter, Save the Good Girl, Pinterest, Save the Good Girl, and also Facebook, Save the Good Girl. You can send me messages. I would love to hear what you have to say about the first ever audio series that I currently have. Without further ado, let's get back to me talking to my husband as if we are in a relationship. We are together. We are married. We are one. And I'm talking to him now. So we're going to get back to that. But any thoughts that you have, please, I would genuinely love to hear them. Send them over. I cannot wait to listen or read what you guys have to say. Dear husband, if you're listening to this right now, I am very happy with you. I can't stop smiling when I think about you. I feel like we have found each other because God has been our anchor. And I'm so grateful that you have expanded my knowledge of God. I'm so grateful that we share our spirituality together. I'm so grateful that God is present in our lives because without him, we are nothing. And I'm so grateful that we both know that. I'm so grateful for that. And I want to thank you for being in my life and making me understand why every relationship and every person that I had before, it didn't work out, but it led me to you. And I appreciate that. I want to thank you for allowing me to be me. I want to thank you for allowing me to fully be immersed within myself. I want to thank you for encouraging me. I feel limitless when I'm with you. I have fun with you. We laugh together. We have such a great time. There's nothing that I could say that is too embarrassing for you. I appreciate the fact that you are funny. I love that we can joke around. I love that we have been traveling together and we create memories together. And I just love how we support one another. I love that you're able to trust me. Because another issue that some people have is just allowing each other to be in that level of trust and vulnerability. And I love that you trust me as much as I trust you. I love that you can be vulnerable with me the same way that I'm vulnerable with you. I love that I don't have to do too much or do too little. I love that I can be dramatic. I love that I can talk to you about my outfits and I could talk to you about my career and we can strategize together. I love that financially we're both okay and praise God and He's leading that. I love that I can come to you for advice and I trust your opinions and I know that everything that you say is for the betterment of us and not just for me and not just for you. I love that you're not selfish. I love that you genuinely care about me through the great times, the challenging times, and through adversities. I love that when we have those challenging times, your first initial response is, we need to pray. I love that you understand the value of family in my life. I love that you understand the value of friendships in my life. I love that you encourage my relationships with people who have been there before you. I love that you're not a partner that's jealous and want to just keep me to yourself and locked away just with you. I love that you have your friends and I have mine. I love that you have your life and I have mine. But I love that we're able to integrate that together. Thank you for being consistent. Thank you for not being petty. Thank you for having our arguments. Like we have our arguments, but guess what? We still find a way to get to each other and have a conversation. Thank you for allowing me to have my space because sometimes you could piss me off and I need time. I need to just be in my space. Thank you for supporting my business. Thank you for being at every event. Thank you for just being there. Thank you for loving me for me and not for any external things. Thank you for loving me unconditionally. I love that. I thank you for letting me love you unconditionally as well. I've been waiting for you for so long. And now that you're here and now that I'm looking at you in your eyes and I'm holding you in my arms and I'm seeing just why I had to wait for you. But I need you to know, sweetie, it was hard. It was hard because I would talk to my friends about you at night. I would talk to my friends about you in the morning. We would go to lunch, brunch, dinner. And I'm not saying you're the topic of conversation because I had so many other things on my mind, like me starting my own thing and me wanting to inspire the world and, all these other things that I have. But you were always a conversation piece, my love. I never stopped thinking about you because I longed for you. And I wanted to be in a place where I was open and ready for you. And I had to get rid of all of my distractions. And that's why I blocked everybody so they could not get close to me. I needed to leave space for you. I'm a woman at the end of the day, right? And if I wanted to call people before I met you, I could have, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to waste my time. I had to stop entertaining people. I had to stop letting people have access to me. Like, this is HBO. You got to pay for this, premium channels. And I was giving people access to me, like your channel 7, your channel 1 news. And it's like, no, I can't let you have that access to me because I had to leave the route clear for my man. There was a lot of traffic in my life before. There was a lot of traffic. It was all the clouds. It was just rush hour. And it just seemed like the rush hour was never going to end. And I had to leave that path clear. And that started because I knew how to pray for you better. I knew what to ask for. I knew what I needed. And I appreciate that we are able to have that together. I love that you remind me of my dad. I love that you're encouraging and you're so supportive. I love that I can trust you. I love that you're honest. I love that you and I can be in a room together and not speak. And I'm comfortable with that. I love that before I even met you, I had concerns of sharing certain things. I'm like, how's he going to feel about this? And how's he going to feel about that? And I remember hearing that you are perfect for the one that is meant to love you. And you made me feel like that. You made me feel like a perfect piece of art. And I haven't felt like that in a long time. And I'm happy that you were able to reintroduce myself to myself. I love that you see my confidence, but you're also aware that I'm still going to grow. I love that you allow me to change my mind because I'm a woman and I am. I love that during the rough times, I never felt alone. I love that I know that I can call you at any time and you're going to be there for me. I love that you love me unconditionally. I've realized that a lot of relationships are on condition. I love you until you're too sick. I love you until you're too broke. I love you until you're too annoying. I love you until somebody else comes along. I love you until X, Y, and Z. And I love that you love me unconditionally and we know each other. We see each other. We support each other through the good times, through the challenging times, through everything. You have stood by my side and I love that. I love that. I love that I can say that you have stood by my side through it all. You are everything that I've ever wanted. You are everything that I've prayed for. You are everything that I've talked about. I've written poems about you. I've thought about you. I've prayed about you. And sometimes I even know how to pray for you. But I love that you're here. I love that we are here together. You don't understand the magnitude of fear that I encountered prior to meeting you. Am I ever going to meet this person? Who is he? Where is he going to come from? Where am I going to meet him? What's going to happen? How is he going to be? What is he going to look like? How is he going to act? Am I going to feel protected with him? Am I going to feel supported with him? Am I going to feel like he's going to be there with me no matter what? Is he going to fight for this? Is he going to stay with me through any adversity that I have? Is he going to be supportive? Is he going to love my family? Because in order to love me, you have to love my family. Is he going to be thoughtful? Is he going to make me feel like I am the only person in the room with 1,000 people in the room? But he looks at me and it's just like that look. Like, yes, you're my wife. Yes, you're my girl. I had so many questions, my love, before I met you. I mean, I had questions. I had questions. I didn't know what you was doing. I love that when I'm with you, I do feel protected. I feel like you have my best interests and you don't want nothing from me but for me to be me. And I love that we can talk about money in a respectful way, in a responsible way. I love that you love to travel too and explore. I love that when I lay my head on your chest and I'm with you and we're watching a show together and I lay my head on your chest and our heartbeats are in sync. I love that when you text me or call me, I still get butterflies like it's the first day we saw each other. I love that you're so romantic and you're so thoughtful. And you understand that it doesn't take much to make me happy. I love that during the fall, you know that I love pumpkin cream cold brew from Starbucks and we go on Starbucks dates. I love that. Oh, I love that. Even if you don't like coffee, that's fine. I just love that you appreciate that I like coffee. And I love that I could be me. And I've always said that I want to be myself because I've realized after some true reflection and true thoughts and being in silence and solitude that I was not myself sometimes when I was in these relationships or dating. It was always a piece of me that it was on reserve. And I like that when I'm with you, I let it all out. I love that you love me, my body, my smile, everything as is. You like the package as is. But I also love the fact that if me wanting to improve anything, you're okay with that too. When I kiss you, I feel I can't hear anything. And I've always said that I know that I like someone when I kiss them and I don't hear anything. I don't hear the background. I'm not on this earth. And I love that when I kiss you, I feel like that. You are my poetry live. You are the embodiment of what a true man is. You make me so happy. We are whole, but together I felt like it's not about having a man to complete you, but I've always had a special place just for you, and I wanted that puzzle to be filled. And I love that you were patient with me because I did get my heart broken a couple of times, and I love that you were patient with me. And you wanted to get to know me. You didn't just want to have sex with me and just do this and do that. Nah, like you were patient and you're fun. And my family loves you. My friends, they love you. You're just a very genuine, hardworking man. You're strategic. You love your family. You love yourself. I love the way you love yourself. I love how you take care of yourself. I love how you take care of your mental. I love that when you have a problem, you can come to me about it and we talk about it. I love that we're growing together. I love hugging you. You make me feel like everything I've seen on TV. You make me feel like, not like that fairy tale, but just that feeling is there. I love that when I look at you, I know. I never knew what that meant. Like when you know, you know. And it was so simple. And I'm just like, how the fuck do you know? And I love that when I look at you, I know that it's you. I'm confident because God brought us together and he told me and he told you the same thing. And I love that you don't give up after one argument. You don't give up after one little thing. I like that you want to make it work. You are everything that I've ever dreamed of, flaws and all. I love that you let me buy my candles. I love that I can be goofy with you. I love that we have a goofy relationship and we have a great time together and it's fun and we talk because we're friends. I love that we're friends first. Above everything, I love that you are my best friend and I can talk to you about any and everything because you make me so happy. You're just amazing. You're an amazing man. You surprised me because just when I was about to give up, here you come. You are beautiful. And I love you. And I'm so grateful that we're together. I'm so grateful that our spirits found each other. And I'm grateful that I'm smiling. Dear husband, thank you for being you. Thank you for allowing me to be me. Thank you for working for me. Thank you for working for us. Thank you for taking a piece of my heart and locking it with yours. Oh boy. Yeah, that I'm done. I was in another dimension just now. Like I was in another dimension because I really put myself in a space like he's here. He's here. I hope you enjoyed the first audio diary series that I've ever done. I was propelled to do this. It was like a force that I had to do. And I'm looking forward for this manifestation to happen live. Again, let me make it clear. I am not married. I am not married yet. This is my manifestation process that I'm doing live as my way of like putting it out there, right? And I hope you enjoyed it. This is my first time doing it. I'm not going to, I'm just going to keep it raw. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm not going to edit this too much because I want it to be in its raw form. And there were a lot of pauses, and I did cry a little bit. Because it just felt mad real. Like, I felt like I was in the space. I felt like, wow, he's here. I just can't see him right now. Like, because he's in traffic, but he's coming. He's coming. But yes, come back next week on Save the Good Girl podcast. Share this with anybody. I feel like I've said a couple of things that other people may have felt. So share this with anyone. Let me know your thoughts. Do the same thing. I hope this encourages you to do the same thing for yourself in terms of like you audio record. Like your husband is here. Like he's here, like he's present. And I look forward to talking to you guys again next week. I have another one coming, audio diary series. I plan on doing these a bit more frequently. So let me know what you think. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys again next week. You know I got something to say all the time. So I love talking to you guys. Thank you again for listening. And it's my 50th episode. Oh my God, it's my 50th episode. Yay! But thank you for listening. I got so much more in store for the Save the Good Girl podcast. And I'm excited to have you guys like in on this journey with me, with us together, because we're in this together. But yes, let me know what you think. And if you have done an audio recording, I don't need to hear it, but let me know if you have. Let me know if this episode inspired you to do so. And yes, husband, I will play this for you because when you come into my life, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I already spoke you up. Okay? Thank you. I'll see you guys next week on the Save the Good Girl podcast, hosted by your crazy girl, Erica. Bye.